This is Trifecta, MIgardener brand, and you guys maybe know pretty much about, he's very popular on YouTube. This is his brand. He was kind enough to send out samples to the first 25 people when he had one of his videos stating that he was going to bring this line out so that he can start selling them. So this is going to be the first test on our peppers. They're pretty bad shape. They've wintered. They look like that basically because they wintered over, and last year they didn't do very well. We're not sure if it was what we were fertilizing them or whether if it was just that we planted them too late. The smaller ones on the bottom, you can see those we did plant late. Of course they didn't really grow, they just kind of wintered over. But those are red peppers, and they should grow up and get just as big as the other ones. So I was pretty impressed with the previous video that MIgardener had, where he had some seedlings that he was growing, and they look just great, fantastic. Probably one of the best pepper plants I've seen in a really long time. So I'm going to go ahead and see if Trifecta can bring this back to life. I'm following the exact instructions. It says to use 1/8 of a cup for each plant, and which is 2 tablespoons.
How many plants do we have there?
We have 6. So that's what it looks like inside. It's got all kinds of good yummies. Even looks like it's got some so 1 tablespoon, 1 round tablespoon for each plant. You only do this once, so looks like it's got some crab meal in it, which is really good, because sometimes here we do get root knot nematodes, and that's one of the things that crab meal is really good for that. They don't like it. There we go.
Now what?
Now we're going to go ahead and water it in. I'll dry fertilizer to water them in. Just to let you know, the little white parts, that's not part of fertilizer. That's fertilizer that when I've always grown peppers. In the past, I haven't done it. Usually when I get really good yields, I used sulfur, because they like the sulfur for some reason. So this year I went ahead and I decided that I was going to go ahead and put the sulfur down too.
So those little white pebbles are sulfur?
The yellow ones are the sulfur. The white pebbles are the whatever, pumice or whatever they call it. So.
Oh.
So that's pretty well watered in. And that's it. Okay, so I'm digging out the old Ace 55. I just cut it because, again, for the mycorrhiza that might be in there. Although this is kind of a cheap thing, so I'm just trying to take out as much of I can and leave the roots I can leave in there.
Why do you want to leave most of the roots there?
So that because this plant has mycorrhiza, all these roots have mycorrhiza that in fact See, you can actually, I think that is, no, that's mica. Never mind. So they have a mycorrhiza that made this plant grow, which this was an excellent plant. It was very healthy. The only thing that killed it was the frost.
And still it tried to produce?
And still it tried to produce tomatoes in the middle of December. So.
What tomato was this?
The Ace 55. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to pull out these 55. Ooh, cool. This is one of our red regulars transplants. I'm using when we use the worm tea when we just put it on the ground. It has a bunch of babies in it, so usually they live in our pots.
Are those worms good?
Yes, these are the composting worms. And interesting, a lot of people say, well, they don't live in soil, they don't do good. They actually do good in pots, and they actually do live in our area. They move all over, but they feed on the top. So just gonna put that in there, even though I'd like to plant it deeper. Unfortunately, I wonder if I can get in here deeper.
How do you know when a tomato is ready to transplant?
About this size is okay. I like them when they're bigger because you can plant them deeper. So I guess this is about 4 or 5 sets of leaves. And now we're going to use the Trifecta. This is 1/4 for tomatoes. At the time of planting, according to MIgardener instructions. So that's 1/4 the cup.
Okay. Which is different than for the peppers.
The peppers are, yeah, a lot shorter.
It smells. Why?
That's all the good yummies.
Okay, so
chicken
it's not
manure and all this stuff in there.
So it's not yummy for me, but it's yummy for the tomato, which at the end would be yummy for us.
Yeah.
So, what can you show me the fertilizer that you're using?
We're using the Trifecta. It's MIgardener's organic fertilizer, or natural fertilizer, I should say.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is the test subject that we're using. 1 shot and that's it. Don't need any more. Now we'll go ahead and we'll water that in once it gets some water.